All right, this is December, middle of Kansas. Kind of freezing, so I'm going to try to do this in the garage while I got snow on the ground. So first step is actually going to be removing the seat so I can have access to all the electrical stuff. And then I'm going to be removing the tank. All right, we're going to remove the tank first. First you got to remove, it's pretty simple. You got just 2 screws on each side, the 10mm Allen wrench. What you're going to do is just remove those 2 screws. And then you're going to wiggle the tank a little bit, and then it's going to eventually come off. Now you can actually not. You can remove the fuel point here, or obviously it's a lot more complicated. However, if you have a little helper, it's going to help a lot. This way you don't actually have to remove the tank. You can actually access the wires that you need that are right here. Here's a small correction. What you'll need actually is a 5mm wrench to remove the screws for the tank versus the actual 10mm wrench to remove the screw for the seat that is right there. Next we're going to connect the ignition switch and the starter button. This is for the starter button on the throttle handle, and the next one we have here is the ignition switch. Looking at the bike right here is your ignition, the starter, and this is the ignition. So we're actually going to remove this right here for the T wires that's in your kit, and these two are actually, we're going to disconnect the ignition, which is right here, and we're going to replace it with the controller that comes in the box, which should look something like this, and I'll show you the actual one when I actually put it on. Alright, these are the wires that we have. Here's the ground, which will actually hook up to the battery. This is your auxiliary cable, which actually can be run to your radio if you had one, or anything that you want to power to the bike without having to actually turn on the bike. These are your actual cable we're talking about. This one is your T that will go to the power switch, and this one is the ignition one that actually replaces the ignition switch completely. And all I have done so far is actually wire them through here. I'm going to run them across the main beam, and I'm going to actually hook it up to where I showed you where those wires were. Alright, so I went ahead and hooked them up right here. You can see it. There's the T, and there's the other ones right here that I connected. And these are the originals. They're actually just hanging here. They're going to the ignition switch, which is right there. You can actually remove that if you want to, or just leave it in there in case you actually want to go back for whatever the reason is. This blue is actually connector actually goes to the tank right here. I removed it just for ease, so I actually have better access to the tank. Alright, put everything back on, seats on, tank's on, everything's put away. And now just to start it, all you would have to do is turn on the switch and then push the power button. But since I don't have the key fob on me, it won't start. Alright, let's show you how this works. I got the key fob, put the keys in my pocket. There's no key in the ignition. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and we're going to crank it. Just like that, she's off, and that's all she wrote. If you want to, you can set the key to manual. You just got to push the button for it to actually crank on. I like to have it on automatic so I could just walk up to the bike and not worry about anything. Don't have to fiddle for anything. If you do have the bike running and you walk off, the bike will keep going. So if you got to go real quick to the store or pick up something, and you leave the key in your pocket and you walk off and you come back, and the bike won't shut off on you. So that's all she wrote. It's a great product. Love it. I don't have to worry about the key no more. Don't worry about losing it. Don't worry about for leaving it in the bike and leaving the lights on and then killing your battery. Awesome.